Yep. Yeah, no, and that's just part of the narrative, and that's part of the two-party system, and that's part of the media establishment. And, you know, if you're going to work within the system and you're going to take on challenging internal elements of it, you still got to, acknowledge this. And that's just a part of it we got to work with.
But it is helpful, and that's why I want to tell you folks today, because we're out of time almost, and we really need to work together to spread this message of the thisnovember5th.com, which is put up by our good friend who did the Ron Paul money bomb and worked on that, and the Ron Paul blimps, and Trevor Lyman did this, didn't he?
Yeah. Trevor Lyman's done a great job. He's an incredible activist for this movement, who put together the first money bombs and really did, put us on the map with that. And now he's doing it again with thisnovember5th.com. So beautiful website, and encourage everybody to get there and sign up and pledge. And, consider supporting the Kokesh for Congress campaign with a pledge there. We're just asking for $25. And, it would really mean a lot to us to be able to get up in those rankings there. We're down about 5th or 6th place right now. But, investing in this campaign is definitely a unique opportunity. Like I said, I'm the youngest candidate of all the major movement candidates, and this is really an investment in the future. We're a little behind right now. Schiff and Rand have got over $1 million in their war chest, and they're rocking and rolling. They're doing great stuff in Connecticut and Kentucky. But here we're really relying on the grassroots support, and we'd like to be able to provide more support financially from the campaign.
Well, I mean, give till it hurts, folks, because this is how you're going to really change things. And as Adam Kokesh has said, I mean, this is a big indicator. This is when the media starts taking you seriously. Thisnovember5th.com. Rand Paul is it's not a race by any means. Obviously, he's got the highest profile name. 201 pledges of $25. He's in first place. Ray McBarry, who I really like, the governor of Georgia, where a lot of my family is, I'd love to see him do well in this. 143 pledges of $25. David Hendrick, House District 3 in Washington, my former home state, 141 pledges. Peter Schiff, U.S. Senate, Connecticut, 141 pledges. And then there's you, right near the top of the thing, 133 pledges of $25, plus another 2 from doing this show today, I bet. And, Chris Simcox, a good friend of our show, U.S. Senate in Arizona, and our own Deborah Medina, right in there hanging at the top with 97 pledges, and then there's just all these other guys over there. You can find people that represent where you live, or you could just decide, look, I'm going to support all these guys, especially the national candidates for Congress and the Senate and governor and this kind of thing, because that's going to affect my life going forward. And if I can throw in 25 here and 25 there, boost these numbers up so this becomes a big media story, then I've done my part. And if I could tell people about it, if I can't donate or put a pledge in, then I've done my part. Right, Adam?
Yeah, well, hey, how many listeners do you think you got, Jack?
I don't know, 3 or 4 million maybe.
All right, well, let's see if we can get another 75 pledges out of them by the end of the hour. Let's see, we're 78 short of Rand. Let's see if we can get up to tie Rand by the end of the hour. What do you think?
No, I'm kidding. We have thousands of listeners, but we are proactive. My listeners are the best listeners in all of radio, and they will bump your pledges up there.
That's what I thought.
Again, man, it's not a race, but you need the money, and I want to see you. I want to see you make this happen. I want you to get this job, man, and you are highly qualified for it. If anybody understands foreign policy, it's someone who fought in Fallujah, in the worst days of Fallujah. If anybody understands the Constitution and freedom principles, it's someone like Adam Kokesh, who has worked very closely with Ron Paul. So we just have to support these people. It's this November 5th, all written out, one word. I have a link up at deadlinelive.info. This November 5th, it's a 5 and a th.com. If you Google it, anyway, it will come up. And if you can't do a pledge, and I'm doing some, but if you can't, just make sure everybody sees this, that this goes out to everyone on your list. And spotlight Adam Kokesh and spotlight Deborah Medina and Rand Paul, friends of this show, people we've worked with for a long time that we trust. This November5th.com, it's a great thing, and I love Trevor Lyman. He really makes this stuff happen. Let's
hold on a second. I gotta make a little correction, if I may.
Okay.
I can be really really a stickler for word usage and be really kind of a jerk about that kind of thing. But sure. I gotta say, there's a distinct way. Words matter, and there was something that you said that was just a little bit off. Do we need the money? We don't, and I want to really clarify this because if we were just funding needs, I mean, that sounds like communism, doesn't it? We would give to each according to their needs.
It sounds like capitalism or the free market, voting with your dollars. That's where I'm going.
No, absolutely. And the reality of it is, but I want to talk about it that way. It's not about, I'm not telling people, give me money because I need it. I don't want to be saying that, and I don't think that's really accurate, because what I want to tell people is, look, we as Americans who care about the Constitution, who care about individual liberty, who care about restoring this country to a symbol of what it could be and the values that this country was founded on, this is an opportunity. This is how you get involved. This is how you make an investment in liberty. This is how you come up with a really good answer when your kids and your grandkids say, hey, when you saw what was happening to America, what did you do?
Yeah.
Don't be struggling for an answer, because they're going to ask. There's a Chinese proverb, may you be blessed to live in interesting times. And we are. We are living in very interesting times, and we are living at a very pivotal time in our country's history. I know people hear that a lot. But really, look at the historical record. Look at where we are. Look at the budget of the federal government today, and you can't help but see that we are at, to use the cliche, some kind of crossroads here. And one way or another, in our lifetime, we are going to be called to do what we have to do to represent the values that are true American values. And someday, your kids, your grandkids are going to ask you, what did you do? This is your chance.
Well, I hope people say that a little more. I did a little more than giving $25 to Kokesh for Congress.com.
Well, it's a start. And there are a lot of people out there, there are a lot of people in our movement, who have gone to meetings or who keep up and have voted for Ron Paul and, changed their registration maybe and keep up with the news. But, they've never really gotten involved more than that. They've never really become an active driving part of this movement. And if you're working a full-time job and you have disposable income, then part of the way you do that is by investing in one of these campaigns and supporting one of us who are running on the values that represent you and what you believe in.
Not because you need the money, but because we need freedom, and this is how you vote with your dollars. I mean, I'm a big believer in this, and that's why I'm the first guy to stand up for the free market. In fact, there's a boycott. Tell me what you think about this, Adam. There's a boycott the day after Thanksgiving, not to do shopping. And I love that, because this is kind of the big indicator of how the economy is doing. Oh, everyone's out buying Chinese slave goods at Walmart. It must be okay. Everything's okay. Go back to sleep. But I think that really sends a message. It sends a message, especially if you're not going to spend your money at the big, corporate international chains that do this bad business. And I'll take it one step further. Go out in front of the big department stores, the big chains, and do a little protesting instead of buying, and let's see if that can get in the news.
Well, I really like the idea of people deliberately boycotting Black Friday or getting away from that consumerism associated with the holidays here in general, because really it is in some ways a representation of the most perverse part of the United States economy. In terms of borrowing and spending as opposed to saving and producing. Well, making an investment like this, I think that definitely doesn't fall under borrowing and spending. This is an investment. This is a long-term investment. Supporting candidates in this movement, supporting candidates that represent this message is a long-term investment. So, I definitely applaud anybody who's making a deliberate effort to get away from that and to get other people away from that and back to, economic habits that represent their own values. I mean, that's really important, that we live up to our own message, which is really, no small challenge when we're talking about, a philosophy as ideal and principle as ours. So I'm all about that. I really support people who are getting away from that.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I know that I'm not supposed to say this, and you can correct me on this if you like to, Adam, but bottom line is it's a lot of fun. This is a lot of fun for me, to see you guys do good and you guys win, and that's my payoff. I know you're going to do the right thing when we get you in office. You're representing, the 3rd District in New Mexico, and New Mexico couldn't do any better than you, sending you to Congress. But it's just a lot of fun for me to do this. I can't think of a better way to spend my money than to get behind guys like you and Deborah Medina and Rand Paul, and then to see the reaction of Congress when you guys come in there and start walking in. Stay with us, folks. More with Adam Kokesh. KokeshForCongress.com on Deadline Live. We'll be right back.